Hey YouTube, I am here to talk about Daunté Wright and the unfortunate incident that happened with him in, of course, Minnesota. I really can't say anything bad about Minnesota because when I've gone there, I've never had any issues. Um, the other thing I want to say is the things I'm going to share about Daunté Wright in this situation. It's going to sound like I have changed my stance with the police. No, I haven't changed my stance with the police. I'm just talking about the facts that I see. And let me be very clear. My stance with the police is this, again, is just another example as to why policing, especially municipal police, that whole institution needs to be undone. Um, they put it back together, but it needs to be undone. We keep watching all of these videos on YouTube where police are assaulting everybody. I mean, the military men who make it possible for them to even have people to police, the cops assault them as well. You know, what kind of country is that? You know, we live in a country now where people have such a hard time accepting the truth that it's starting to send people off the far end. You know, a lot of you cats are looking like conspiracies because you are the conspiracy. Okay, you're the ones that decide to believe in what you believe in and not believe in or see things that, well, are truth. Um, and if you're an individual that doesn't see things you don't want to see, or you're one of those people that doesn't happen just because it doesn't happen to your people, um, you're part of the problem. All right. And all the people that sit there and think that it's someone else and someone else, you are actually the major part of the problem. We all contribute. Um, people, we contribute to different degrees, and people tend to want to always be right. They always want to have the light shined on them. They always want to lead people. When you've never been taught to lead, let's get this very straight. If you've never been taught to lead or ever had to lead yourself somewhere, you're not a leader. You don't know how to lead. You're not built for it. You are what we call an employee. You're just a worker. You know, everybody wants to be the queenette, but most of us are the workers. Um, in some situations, that includes me. As much as I hate to say it, but sometimes you have to accept what it is. What gives me the ability to say that, though, is that my natural instinct is to lead. Okay, I don't really care for people to be around me and telling me what to do, so therefore I try to make my own path. And what's happened is, in making my own path, I've learned that people tend to get on that path. I haven't figured out why. I don't try to figure out why. I don't care. What I will say is this: because people are on that path, I know that eventually they're going to be leaders. Okay, because of that, I try to embrace them and make them into what's going to be a better leader than they already were. Like, I don't care for people being in my shadow. I don't like that. That doesn't do anything for me. Most people, it's an ego thing. For me, ego is not what empowers me. Um, so That being said, back to this Daunté Wright situation. Again, let me be very clear. I am against the police. I am against the institution of policing. Somebody trying to be funny once said to me, "Yeah, I bet you're the type to call the police." This is the part where I tell you I've never called the police. Whenever I've had any type of altercation with anybody, I always tell them, you should call the police, because I'm not going to. I've never called the police because I've always seen what they do. Okay? I've always seen it, I've always felt it, and I didn't want to be a part of it. Okay? I'm one of the lucky ones, whereas I've been able to keep myself out of mischief with the police. But any one of us could have been Daunté Wright. Any single one of us could have been Daunté Wright. If if you don't have the capacity to bring that home and let that go through your mind, think about this. Daunté Wright got pulled over. Okay. The police said he had a warrant. He disagreed, jumped in his car, and got killed, murdered, in front of his girlfriend. I'm not sure if she's his baby mama. I'm not sure what she is, but he got killed. To that part, again, it was a police officer. But let's speak upon that part. Let's speak about murder, because I keep seeing people talk about that police officer deserves this, that police officer deserves that, and everything they're saying is people are saying out of emotions, and trust me, I get that. This is a very emotional time. If you're melanated or minority or your skin is brown, or you're poor, because you poor white people, don't think you're not thrown in that group. You know, it's funny how poor white people think, especially the bigots, the racist ones, they think they're above this and above that. Well, let me give you a little taste of something. If you're poor, you were considered the minority. Don't ever think that you are white. You are considered Caucasian. Yeah, you look white, you look Caucasian, but your mindset is of the rest. And that's something you should keep in mind. Okay? Daunté Wright, he was killed. His life was taken from him. A flame was extinguished. Was he murdered? Yes, he was murdered. Was it purposefully? No. This would, in all intents and purposes, I guess it would be manslaughter. I don't think that police officer, again, this is my opinion, but I don't think that police officer, she intended on killing Mr. Wright. I do think that she is in a really dark place now. At least I hope she is. Let's be straight. I'm not trying to figure it out because I really don't care. An officer took a civilian's life. That's as far as I go. Okay? That line right there is enough to make me feel what I feel inside. Okay? However, the officer didn't murder. Her intent wasn't malice. She didn't. I don't think she intentionally murdered Daunté Wright. I do think that there's something up with her grabbing her gun instead of her taser. That I do find an issue with. But I don't think that, as fast as everything happened, I really don't think that she intended on shooting that man in front of that girl. Um, she she's trying to appear like she's holding herself accountable, which to me is a start. She, I'm not really keeping track of her because I'm really busy with my personal life, and I'm trying to watch this Derek Chauvin trial because that's where my focus is. Um, but because of the timing of this, I felt that I should make a video about it. Um, I don't feel when you look at the different officers in all the videos, one thing you'll see is you will see their facial expressions, you will see hear their voices, you will see their actions. And as much as I dislike the police, as much as I want to say F the police, as much as I want to say they all should burn, I don't think that she had any malice intent. I think she was trying to do her job. Again, I don't support the police, but I'm not also not gonna do like what a lot of the police do and try and say, oh, you shouldn't have committed crime. Well, when police say that, according to what they say, it's a crime to not be white in America. Now, for the record, I am half white. Do I get treated like I'm white? Do I get treated like I'm Caucasian? No. I get treated better because I force the issue. All right. I talk like I talk. I have a very proper speech when it comes to police. I'm also 6'2", so police don't really like dealing with me on any terms but their terms. I look police straight in the eyes when I talk to them. I also have a very deep voice, so all sorts of things are going through police officers' minds when they deal with me. The key thing is, though, I know this. I'm very aware of this. Just like in the Chauvin case, I've noticed that every time he dealt with police, he was very aware. And I think that Mr. Wright was aware of what was going on. And all he wanted to do was get away. In the end, his life was lost. In the end, a family is without a family member. A girlfriend has lost her boyfriend. Um, does this police officer deserve prison? Yes. The fact is a cop took a life. And in my head, if you're going to wear the uniform, then you should be held to a higher standard than what the civilian population is that you quote unquote protect. Okay. You start holding these cops to higher standards, I guarantee you they're either gonna quit or they're going to go to prison. It's that simple. And if they quit, you know what type of people these are, so you can start putting things in place for those types too. Um, before I get too much further on what I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna try and grab a link for the Daunté GoFundMe page and put it in the bottom. So please make sure that if you can, um, click on the link and help that family. I couldn't imagine what they're going through right now, and I don't want to imagine. It's very disturbing knowing that we live in a country where once a week or once a day you're going to see a video, or there's potentially going to be a video of another police brutality of a minority or somebody. You know, matter of fact, I'm gonna do something really crazy. White people, why don't you start getting videos of police being brutal to you? That way you can validate some of the things you're saying. Okay, about how they are. Now I know they're brutal to white people because I've seen it. All right, I've done jobs where I've seen the police. They had to do what I said, and because of this, let's just say I've seen how brutal they can be to white people included. Um, I made the mistake, and this is where I got to apologize to all of you, because I was one of those individuals that when I was working, doing my job, and the police had to get called in, instead of keeping them restrained, and the one particular case I'm talking about, I allowed them to do their job the way they saw fit, even though I didn't agree with it. If I'm ever in a position like that again, I'll never allow anything like that happen again. And to you, YouTube, and to anybody that sees this, I apologize to all of you for my misstep. That will never happen again. I will, in the next couple days or weeks or so, I'll try and get another video up about Mr. Wright. Right now, this is just, I'm seeing a lot of posts about it. I'm seeing a lot of people that I care about, that I love, that I'm very close to. Um, I'm seeing them post about it, so it tells me this particular subject has caused some pain, and that part is the part that I have to address. Right now, I want people to understand that that police officer cannot, will not, and is not going to get charged for murder. Okay, manslaughter maybe. I see manslaughter in there. Um, why not murder? Because murder is intent. Okay, murder means whether it be first degree, second degree, or third degree murder, they had intent. Okay, and intent can be proven at some point. First degree murder is you thought about it and you said, okay, on this day, at this time, I'm gonna go murder this person. That's first degree murder. Second degree murder is um, this person has done something and I don't like it, so I'm gonna take their life. Um, third degree murder is this person did something to me. I got the upper hand, and instead of just walking away, I decided to take their life. Manslaughter, on the other hand, manslaughter is something happened and a life was lost. When lives are lost, it's not murder. Okay, and that's what this whole Daunté Wright situation, that's what it's going to be looked at as, is a life was lost. Um, be ready for what is going to be said about this individual. Because one thing that I can tell you is when the police protect their only goal is to make everybody involved to look like the criminals. Okay? Case in point, Chauvin murder trial. With Mr. Wright, he's a 20-year-old young man. So he's going to be made to look like a delinquent. He's going to be made to look like all these different things that he wasn't. So please have empathy. Please understand that this young man, he had a mother and a father. All right, he had a family. Okay, he had friends. He had co-workers. He even had enemies. All right, but every single one of those people, every one of those individuals, they had a right to see Mr. Wright again. They had a right to interact with him. No matter what he's done in his past, he did not deserve that bullet that went through his body. That event that took his life. He didn't deserve that. I'm going to come back to this subject again a little later sometime. Not sure how long, but I will readdress this. Um, Again, please donate to Mr. Wright and his family. The GoFundMe will be in the description. And think about something.